Hello, welcome to the Steam Release Podcast. I am your host, Dewey Bear, and join me today, as always, is the lovely, the fair, Roadie Pie.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. And joining us, once again, is TheRadioTom. Welcome back.
Hello.
How have you been?
Better than, sort of better than the last time I was here, because last time I had food poisoning, and then this last week was kidney stones. Life is swell.
Swell.
Yeah, swell.
My body's gradually breaking down, but you know, the usual.
Yeah.
And
old age is getting me hard, man, I tell you what.
Yeah. And Roadie, of course you were regaling us tales of your dog, but how have you been this week?
Not bad. Just plodding along as always, and just enjoying the little bits of life that you can with drinking some food. Yum, yum, yum.
Yay!
Awesome. Well, and I'm going to remember this time because the first section of the show is, of course, what have you played this week? And we're just going to dive right on in it. So, RadioTom, are you, what have you been doing this week?
So I didn't play a ton this week. I've been fighting while sick. I've been kind of a little motion sick. But since I was last on the show, I gave a shot to that free-to-play game, Deepest Sword, that we talked about a couple weeks ago. It's where you have that little adventure with a tiny sword who's trying to slay the dragon. It's very short, very quick. It had a lot of little potential of like kind of a challenging platformer in the style of like Bennett Foddy, where as time goes on, your sword gets bigger and you're using it to like traverse yourself over and around obstacles, but the levels stay the same as the sword gets bigger and they plop an extra little section to get through. So you have to then think a different way through the area that you just did before until you eventually slay the dragon. It took me about 20 minutes to finish it, and it was a really good concept. It's free to play, and it was made quickly by one person. I think it was part of a game jam, and I would love to see it fleshed out, because it was very unique and interesting. It was just at times it was, how quickly can I waggle the sword to just work my way through? It was like, I didn't feel clever on some of it, of like, oh, I need to do it this way. It's like, just waggle the thing until you get through. Like, yeah. So yeah, that was Deepest Sword. And then I've been playing a lot of board games, surprise, including a version on Steam for the card game Wingspan. It is a gorgeous game by Elizabeth Hargrave. It is an engine builder type where you're trying to bring birds into your aviary, played over so many rounds. It is a beautiful, gorgeous, popular game, especially on the board gaming side of life. And the app is a very faithful adaptation. They even give life to some of they give life to the cards, or like the birds will start chirping, and they actually put in the real sounds of the birds in the game too, as well as like little trivia facts and all that. It's a really gorgeous, chill game and a very good board game adaptation onto a digital platform.
I love bird watching, and yeah, I think I'll have to check out this game. It's on my wish list already, but I love bird watching. Moving to Texas, all the birds are different though, so I do really miss some of the birds I'm used to.
At least you get to see something different though.
There are new ones. There's cardinals and blue jays here, which is like quite colorful.
Oh yeah, we do get we get cardinals and blue jays up here. They're kind of, robins are our most common, but those two are our big common birds up here.
And welcome aboard, Raven Quick. I'm so glad to see you here. Welcome back.
Hello.
But yeah, Roadie, what have you been playing this week?
Oh man, I didn't play. After last week's explosion of demos that I was playing, I only played a bit of Heartbeat, but I finished one line coloring. I finished that.
Oh.
So I'm glad. I was like, yay, complete. It was surprisingly challenging. There's some really easy ones, but there's ones that you just like, how the heck, how is this going? You know, maybe it's just me because it's just the way you know how you work out puzzles and everything. But it was super relaxing though, and I got really into it, and I really like the objects and the characters as well that you got to draw the lines for. It's really nice. It's a nice, relaxing game. It's taken me about 7 to 8 hours to do the whole thing, to do all of the puzzles. So yeah, definitely got my money's worth. And if you're looking for sort of like a relaxing puzzle game, it is 50% off right now. It's £1.99.
Yep.
So you know, definitely worth your definitely worth the money.
Mm-hmm. Yep, $2.49 USD, so like half the price of a Starbucks coffee. So, yeah. As for me, I completed one really big game that I've been talking about for a long time, and that is Fell Seal: Arbiter's Mark.
Oh, you finished it.
I finished it. Oh, let me see. What's my playtime? 155 hours later. I finished it. I don't think that's the proper playtime, though. I think proper playtime's closer to 80 hours. But I had to restart a few times because I did my builds wrong. I didn't understand the build system, and then I finally came back and understanding it. The systems are great. The storyline is really good. What I didn't expect, so you come to the end scene. No spoilers here, but you come to the end scene, and it kind of ends a story on like a bittersweet note, and you're like, oh, that was a good story. And then post-credits, there's more scenes. And guess what the scenes after the post-credits do? It's like, oh, guess what? We're gonna like start a plot line. We're gonna remember these threads that we didn't wrap up? Oh yeah, here they are. And it's like, there's gonna be and they kind of imply that there's gonna be a Fell Seal 2, and I'm just kind of like, no, I haven't seen any news about Fell Seal 2, but now I need to know what happens. So it does have that post credits end scene, and I was just like, oh, why do you do this to me? Why do you torture me so? But it's just great system, great story, great characters. I really like the art. If you don't like tactics RPGs, this is not a game that'll convince you to like tactics RPGs. But if you liked Final Fantasy Tactics, you're probably gonna like this game. And it's it's a masterpiece, and I'm really glad I played it. I'm gonna try to not play a super long RPG for a while though, because this one it kept going. I mean, there were like 4 or 5 plot twists, so I thought we were coming to the climax, and then like, oh no, it's not what you realized from the beginning. It's like, oh no, we have to plot over here to get this guy. It's like, oh no, I'm not the one you're looking for. It's like, but it was well presented. It wasn't sort of ham-fisted in. Like, there were clues, and you think back to those moments. It's like, oh, that's what this scene was about. I get it now. That's what that was about. Anyhow, great game. Fell Seal, do recommend. Besides that, me and my brother did progress a bit further in getting finished with the Shadowbringers post-story, so we're ready for Endwalker. We're almost there. Nice. We're up to the last dungeon, at least so far, that they've done. So we're up to the last dungeon, but I don't have the eye level for it yet. But soon.
So as the Steam sale is on, have you bought anything?
I have so far avoided. I've saved my wallet, but that said, Fell Seal Arbiter's Mark is 67% off right now, so you can get it for just under $10. I'm
Nice.
just saying.
Nice.
What about you guys? Are your wallets surviving?
What about you, Tom?
I spent, what was it, like the 99 cents that I had sold in cars to pick up Bloons Tower Defense 6. I used to play the Flash version way back in the day. I was like, I know this is just a mobile cash grab style game, but I like the Tower Defense game. I really do.
I do like Bloons.
Yeah, it's a guilty pleasure.
Oh, that's so cool.
But what about you?
No. I understand. But me, oh my god, so I'm waiting for my cash monies to come in on July 1st, and I've been like, I've set my wish list to the ones with the biggest discounts, and I'm like, ooh, yes, oh, I could get this one. Oh, what about this? Ah, yes, this would be the best deal. Yes, I would get that one. So there are like a few games that I was thinking of getting, like probably Black Sad is like 70% off.
Oh wow.
So I'm like curious with that. I might get that one. Half Past Fate is a massive 75% off. And I kind of want to get that one because I mean I do like those style of games. Half Past Fate, I do kind of like those. But also the follow-up that they did with the lockdown game that they did interests me kind of even more, so I kind of want to play through that and then play that game sort of thing. So yeah, and I have so many games on my wish list, but there are about 5 games that I really want to get during the sale, definitely, because the prices have come down nicely. So yeah, I'm next week you'll hear about all my purchases, definitely.
a full haul video. my Steam haul.
I'll be like, oh yeah. This week I'm like, yeah, it's probably only like 5 games, but next week you'll hear it's about 10. So
Potato's working the corner to pay off my Steam card debt.
I mean, he doesn't normally like strangers stroking him, but you know,
he gonna have to learn. He's got to pull his weight now.
Exactly.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we got Dewey Red. One out of the way.
Alrighty, but yeah, for next up, I guess we're on that note. We are ready to hop into the catch-up list, I assume. So let's catch up, starting with. So these are catch-up games from September 3rd through September 6th, but we do have one that's from September 1st, and that is Cartomante. Fortune Teller.
Cartomante, a branching visual novel with multiple endings about fortune telling for eccentric clients with tarot cards.
I love the art style on this. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I was going to say the same. I like this sort of multicolored kind of people, and I'm quite interested in like the game mechanics on this. I kind of like the fortune telling. It reminds me a bit of what's that game?
The Indonesian game with the robot fortune teller. What was that?
No, not that one. Astrologasta.
Oh, okay, that one too. Yeah.
Apart from there's probably not singing in that, so there's not singing in this, I should say. Yeah. But yeah, this I'm curious about how to play this. It says 3 unique characters with their respective troubles, 3 stylized tarot cards with multiple possible interpretations, branching dialogues options with 30 different endings, all original soundtrack and sound effects, water your plants, point and click interactions with the room, and the concretization of your childhood dream to becoming.
I've never heard of that word before.
No, me neither.
Concretization. Wow, that's a. I'm gonna have to look that up in the dictionary to see if that's a real word.
That someone used a thesaurus, guaranteed.
Is that like to make
to make your dreams solid? Yeah, I assume. Yeah, it's
making something concrete.
Yeah, it's a real word. I've never heard that word before. We've learned something new today. So everyone, this episode of the Steam Release Podcast is sponsored by the word concretization.
Yay! What about you, Tom? What are your thoughts?
Looking at it, I like the art style. I was originally worried that it was just, here's 6 cards, no matter what you click, you're gonna get the exact same story out of it, where it's just kind of like a click-through visual novel. But seeing the fact that there's the 30 different endings, possibly in the portions of the card that you look at, or the order, or at least the dialogue options, gives different endings. So the only part of the artwork I don't like is the you as the fortune teller's hands. That red outline is, and granted, it's on the client as well, but of course now with this being a lot closer, it's a lot more pronounced.
Yeah.
It just, and it just kind of takes away a little bit. But otherwise, I really like the art.
Yeah. The color scheme reminded me a lot of Carnival, and then I saw that, the Garoa Studios is based in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. So I'm like, I wonder. The sort of like, the garish combination is like, yeah, this looks like a carnival float. It's like, Brazilian studio. Maybe that's why, but perhaps I'm reading too far into that. But it's just a tiny studio in Rio, and this looks like a great game.
Yeah, it's 20% off right now at £3.19, and it's standing at 96% positive with 51 user reviews.
And the studio has an upcoming game called Stand By Me, which is a platformer, actually. So very different. Also a very different art style.
Do you play as a character called Darling?
Stand by me. No.
Yep, sorry.
I don't know.
I'm happy someone got that reference.
I feel like sad that it's not as bright and colourful and unique as what they've done here.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to have seen some kind of continuation with their style, I suppose. Oh well.
Well, there's always future chances, but Cartomante Fortune Teller can be yours for 20. It's 20% off right now for $3.99 USD, and it is very positively reviewed at 96% positive. So, next up is Spinch.
Transcend the material realm and assume your true form as Spinch. A hyper-agile organism consumed by the quest to rescue a litter of its missing offspring in the side-scrolling psychedelic platformer from the mind of award-winning Canadian cartoonist Jesse Jacobs.
This, I love the way this looks as well. I love the bright colours and...
it reminds me of Adventure Time a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it definitely is that CalArt style, which I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of the CalArt style, but I do like the color palette. And I think the sort of simplistic models really do work for a platformer like this. And it's just very, very bizarre. The studio is Queen Bee Games, which is actually a husband and wife team who make this game. So I think the artist is Jesse Jacobs, but then like the development is done by a husband-wife team from Prince Edward Island, Canada.
The bosses are so interesting and wow. Yeah, it just looks crazy but amazing.
Really
there
wild.
are times I'm losing the character in the platforming with everything going on, because you're just at the end of the day a white circle with little arms and a little dots for face and mouth, and there's some spots where I'm just like, wait, where are they?
Yeah, it is kind of an odd choice to have such a bright character with such a bright, colorful background. I would think that you'd want a super vivid or dark, like a dark ball, like a dark blue or something ball might stand out a lot more, or a dark green ball, something like that. Whereas there's just so many colors that white kind of disappears.
But otherwise, this looks great. It looks fun.
So wild. So wild. But that is Spinch. Oh,
It's 30% off right now at £7.97, and it's standing at 74% positive with 85 user reviews.
yep. That is $10.49 USD. Next up is ASTROVITY by Robbie and James.
Help find Astra's parents on a mission throughout the galaxy. Traverse hundreds of handcrafted levels to save your family somewhere in the vast expanse of space.
Yeah, I heard Astra's pants at first, and I was like, that's a very different game. But okay, Astra's parents. All right, this is kind of reminding me of or VVVVV in that, you know, you have this whole gravity puzzle going on.
It's almost like the going from like NES to SNES version of
Yeah, exactly. Similar plot line, I guess in the 5 Vs or 6 Vs. You're the captain of a ship looking for your crew, whereas this is a little guy looking for his parents.
Or his pants.
Yeah, or his pants.
I mean, it's one colored suit. Yeah, are they pants? Is that just flesh? Like, is that flesh? We don't know.
Yeah, you can get this for like the cheap, the low price. It's 74% off right now, and it is 77 cents US.
Yeah, 54 pence. There's only 3 user reviews though. I'm not big on the art style, maybe. I don't know, everything just, like the character, everything just looks super small. And I don't know, it just doesn't, it's not so visually, it doesn't visually stick out as much. Like a few scenes do, but mostly it doesn't, if you know what I mean.
It's got the Celeste vibe for the art style, but it's just missing a little bit of the polish.
Yeah. It doesn't have the same polish as Celeste. I do like the soundtrack. It's like a discotheque.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's 200 plus puzzles though, so not bad for 54 pence.
Yeah.
Not bad at all, but still only 3 reviews since September 3rd though. Kind of a
It's unfortunate it's been overlooked.
Yeah.
So check out ASTROVITY, not ASTROVITY, ASTROVITY.
Find those pants.
Yes, find those pants. Next up, Paradise Killer.
Paradise Island, world outside reality. There's been a murder that only investigation freak Lady Love Dies can solve. Gather evidence and interrogate suspects in this open world adventure. You can accuse anyone, but you'll have to prove your case in trial to convict. It's up to you to decide who's guilty.
I remember like we spoke about this on like the games of the year episode that we did, and this was like one of my picks. You know, murder mystery, but in a 3D environment, and just visually it's like a treat. It really is. The only thing is, it's like when you're roaming around the towns or whatever, it's kind of like bare, so you don't kind of have that sort of flavor of like a busy metropolis or anything.
The character designs are so ridiculous.
Yeah.
I was thinking the exact same thing. I was just like watching the one like arms behind the back, like I'm just standing at the edge of my boat. Hello there.
Yep. Just so funny. But yeah, it's, from what I've heard, it's got a good mystery storyline. What did you expect how it ended, or does it end differently each time?
No, this was the one that we were picking out, but that interest us rather than ones that we played.
Oh, okay.
So this is like, you know, on my wish list, but I didn't want to pay full price. But now it's 30% off. So it's £10.84, so I might pick it up.
Yep.
You never know.
$13.99 USD, and if you like the soundtrack, you can pick that up for $6.99. Let me see.
Yeah, and of course this has been incredibly popular. It's standing at 96% positive, with 1,221 user reviews, and recently it's 95% positive with 97 user reviews.
Very good. All right. Next up is the Grand Lord.
Thrust into power unwillingly, how would you rule? Travel through your kingdom full of idiots, hotheads, and crazies and unite them all. Or tell them all to go to hell. Choice is yours. Rule your way as you try to become the Grand Lord. I was a little late on the Grand Lord, my bad.
I'm not a super fan of low poly all the time. This one does it in its kind of own way, so I don't mind it that much. It's just I see low poly and it's like, this was made in the Unity engine, wasn't it? But they do some interesting stuff with the lighting, so I'm not super against it this time. But
It's
Oh, go ahead.
I know it's like a lot of shading, and yeah, I'm not a fan of the way it looks, because it looks like it's like too bright on the face and then shaded like elsewhere, and it just makes it look really overexposed kind of thing on the faces. I don't know, I'm not a fan of that. And yeah, I don't know, I don't like the way the environments look either. Sorry, and they've got that thing where in the distance it's blurred as well, and I think for this it doesn't kind of suit it. It looks kind of weird.
Yeah,
because I like that effect when I've done city builders. That's quite nice. That's quite nice because it's like you're going through the city and everything like that, and you'll see that it's done quite well. But when it's like already your environments are pretty stark, it doesn't help it.
Yeah, there's some oversaturation on some of the lighting as well.
Yeah. Some of the interior shots that I'm seeing look actually really good. Like ignoring the character, I'm just kind of talking the background. There's like the one shot in the castle in particular where I'm like, that background doesn't look terrible, but then the rest of it, like besides that one shot, like no. Yeah. This is you can get the Grand Lord for 99 US cents. And it only has 2 user reviews so far. Let's go look at them.
Yeah, 79p.
5.
Yeah, so
it's got 5 user reviews, and they are all positive. It looks like it's about an hour long, though. So 99 cents is probably a good price for it.
Yeah, it says on here, a single playthrough can range from 1 to 3 hours, depending on how fast you read and go through the story. For most people, it will likely be in the 2-hour range. In addition, there are at least 4 unique endings with many different variations of each, so a player will likely find themselves playing for at least 3 or 4 times, if not more. That being said, a single playthrough is best experienced in one sitting. That didn't make sense. A single playthrough is best experienced in one sitting. Well, yeah.
It does. You're not walking away from it.
Yeah.
And if it's only an hour, that's not bad.
Yeah, that's not bad. All right, so that is the Grand Lord. Coming up, we now have our release list. So that is this week's releases. And we're going to start off strong with Monday, June 21st on Ender Lilies. Quietus of the Nights.
Quietus of the Nights is a dark fantasy 2D action RPG about unraveling the mysteries of a destroyed kingdom. On this sorrowful journey, encounter horrific enemies against whom a moment of inattention could be fatal. Overcome these hardships and seek the truth with the help of fallen knights.
So I guess you're a little girl necromancer and you summon, or sorcerer, and you just summon these knights to do when you need to do an attack.
Yeah.
So, yep. That's kind of an interesting mechanic, which means I guess the knights probably can't really get damaged. It's all about making sure the girl doesn't get damaged. So then you have you have to both be attacking but also be mindful of where the person controlling you is. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I have only a slight. I love the fact that you can tell where your character is at all times. It's one of my biggest complaints and things I talk about on this show a lot. And you can definitely tell where she's at compared to like the dark background and the dark characters. But you see like all the dust, the grime, and the muck. There is no way she's keeping that all white.
Exactly.
No way. Like, come on. So I don't know if clarity over something a little more believable.
But she keeps it clean through magic.
Magic, yeah.
Magic.
She has all her skin and clothing are all hydrophobic. So.
She uses Necrotide.
Yeah, exactly. What's that called?
All.
One of the features in this is find beauty in despair. That is a feature.
That's a feature. Find beauty in despair. I do have to say, as someone who likes the 2D action, the action does look quite good. They do use that kind of shadow puppet animation style, where they like all the arms kind of move independently. It's probably the best way I've seen that done. Like it can look really unnatural. Let me see. I'm trying to get to a clip. It can look really natural, and here it actually looks quite nice. And I do like the menu. It is very, very, very gray, but then they also have this kind of bright colors where it kind of draws your eye to the action. Yeah, I quite like it. I'll have to check it out.
It looks very polished. It looks quite nice. I'm just wondering, like, how it plays, if like there's a good balance with story and action. But this has a lot of user reviews. It's standing at 94% positive with 5,388 user reviews, and recently 92% positive, 1,883 user reviews.
Yeah, this one's been in early access for a long time, and it seems folks are still happy with it even after it releases. Someone saying that the cons, for some other reason, you get double jump almost immediately, which is nice. It kind of feels like a band-aid over decent. Okay. Lily has the ability to pull herself up to a ledge. All right. Okay, there's no clear marker to show when you can when you can jump and climb up something or not. All right.
Yeah, that's a bit of an issue, especially if it's like the back.
Okay.
At least like the background or anything doesn't look a bit different, like that picture you showed earlier. It's got like different textures on the wall or something. It's like, looks like I can blow it up with a bomb or something.
The reviewer had this huge section of the bad, and I was reading each one. It's like, okay, that's a nitpick. And it was like, the combat isn't really difficult. It's like, okay, but maybe it's not meant to be very difficult. There's nitpick. And it's like, okay, this isn't really the bad. Hey, I was thinking like bugs, or the way you build the RPG, or like the stats don't make any sense. Okay, then I could see it being bad, but like some of that was just kind of nitpicky. But
it is $21.99, which is, I suppose, not bad for this kind of game.
Yeah, it looks very polished. $24.99. It's of course, because it released officially this week, I doubt it's going to go on discount for during the summer sale. But I'll probably wait on a sale for this, just because I have plenty of games to play right now. But it is on my wish list. So next up we have Imaginaria.
Imaginaria is both the Night Watch and the Night Watcher. It's a military term supposedly coming from Latin Imaginarius, relative to a mental figure. Perhaps because under Imaginaria, duty the mind likes to wander to. Here in Antarctica, we do them since the incident, and tonight I am Imaginaria.
Okay.
This is like a first-hand account of life in an Arctic station. So it's inspired by the developers' experiences living in Antarctica for 15 months. Imaginaria is equal parts visual novel, point-and-click adventure, walking sim, and documentary.
Oh.
So yeah, it is short though. So it's like just over an hour.
Oh really? So it's just over an hour, and it's like $7.99. With a 20% discount.
Sale.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say normal asking price at 10.
Yeah, it's like £5.75 with 20% off. £7.19 at full price, and it's like, oh, especially with the the pixel art and everything. I know this is like supposed to be his documenting his life, what happened in Antarctica, but it's like, shouldn't be charging us that much for a game that doesn't have like much action or anything like that, or top of the range graphics or anything.
Yeah, it has a neat like sort of backstory, but I think it's a cool concept to build a game. But yeah, it's I would wait until an extremely steep discount to check this one out. Imaginaria, but it's got
1 user review so far, which is positive.
Yep, good but short, as all they had to say. Next up is from Tuesday, June 22nd, is Labyrinth City, Pierre, the Maze Detective.
Adapted from the best-selling children's book series, Pierre, the Maze Detective, play as Pierre in this adventure puzzle game and recover the stolen maze stone. Journey through breathtakingly hand-drawn illustrations, meet eccentric characters, and solve puzzles to save Opera City.
Oh, it's so pretty.
I played this last week in the demo festival. I would like to know, because it doesn't list it in the game features, I'd like to know how many scenes there are. Because it says there are more than 100 hidden objects and trophies, but over 500 interactions possible with a character, but it doesn't say how many levels or how many scenes there are. And that's kind of like what I would like to know before like committing to purchasing this.
Yeah, I'm seeing kind of an average playthrough time of about 4 hours or so. Like just averaging, because there's some that are like 1 or 2. I've got a few that are like 8 to 10. But I'm averaging around 4 hours right now. But obviously that doesn't tell you how many levels.
Yeah. But when I played the demo, it was really great. I did have a lot of fun with it, and it was like you don't really like kind of get lost in it, because I know sometimes I can get like, because of my dyslexia, I can get kind of like confused like where I'm going and stuff like that. But it's almost like it's on rails slightly, because it's like you just hold down a button and it's like going a particular way, but you can still go around and explore places and nooks and crannies and stuff like that. So, and it will keep you on track because it have like a purple arrow to say this is where you got to go. And so, and it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And I did like finding all the secrets, getting all the stars, getting all the little notes, the hidden notes, and getting all the trophies as well. It's like, oh yes, this is already on my wish list after playing the demo last week. I'm not sure I want to pay full price for it though. It is 17% off right now at £8.95, but still I want to wait. I want to wait till it comes down a bit more. Maybe I'll get it in the winter sale or something. But it is standing at 96% positive with 332 user reviews.
Yep.
But I'd like to know what you guys think of like what you're seeing.
To me, it's like a sort of Where's Waldo. I love those books as a kid. I'd still look at them today, I guess. I'd still enjoy them today. But it's just all this like neat architect, all this neat detailed picture that you can just keep looking at and gradually notice new jokes or new little things. Like on the train station, there's a bunch of people waiting this train, but there's also like a couple kissing farewell, or like there's all these just little tiny details that someone decided to put in, and it's very creative.
I've been recently playing a board game called Micro Macro. You're a detective in Crime City, and it's just this giant Where's Waldo style map, and you have to kind of track where people have been coming from and solve crimes and all that. So I've been really into this sort of style game here lately, and this I just love. I love the artwork. I love the fact that everywhere I look around in this, there's something new. I'm not seeing like a lot of assets just being shuffled around in different orientations. There's a lot of detail going on here. The gameplay side, if it's a little on rails, that's okay. Like, especially if you do get stuck at any point, rails or the helpful arrows and all that are very nice, helpful. And I kind of wish I would have given this demo a shot.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
There's so much going on, like you said, and there's like all these like little hidden people to talk to and everything like that. So there's like, you can spend like sort of like an hour going through one scene or something, just trying to just speaking to everybody and like looking at all the artwork and the interactions and like what people are doing and everything. It's like that jam-packed, but you don't feel overwhelmed anyway. Well, at least I didn't. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I completely forgot. I just realized that I'd played something else this last week that that completely slipped my mind. But BioShock? I have never played that series before, and I played the latest one, and suddenly like the one set in Colombia, BioShock BioShock Infinite. And this sort of setting kind of reminds me of it. I was just thinking. I was like, this kind of reminds me of BioShock Infinite. I mean, this is clearly less dystopian than that, but just how pretty Colombia is, like this, it's just how beautiful it is.
Gorgeous.
It is such like a contrast, because it's such a beautiful place with a bunch of horrible people. But it's so pretty, and I'm just like, it's so beautiful, while I'm like, shooting people in the head. But it's just like, this place is lovely.
I definitely would recommend playing the first one before you play Infinite. There'll be a much bigger appreciation for Infinite. You can skip 2 though.
Yeah. I mean, I do. Now that I've played the first one, the final one, I am kind of convinced to go back and play the others, because I was just never interested. And now it's just like, But anyhow, so that's just a side thing I just was thinking about. I was like, I didn't mention that. But yeah, Labyrinth City Pierre Maze Detective looks fantastic. And yeah, you can get it for $9.95 USD. Next up is Vedelem. And of course, thank you, Raven, for Cuphead. That was awesome. Thank you. All right, next up, Vedelem.
Vedelem, the Gold Horde, is a medieval real-time strategy and survival game set in the 13th century. Build, expand, and defend your lands against the deadliest Mongolian invasion ever witnessed. They will seek to destroy your walls and salt your earth. Will you survive the Golden Horde?
I'm kind of baffled. This is okay. I see. It's Breda University of Applied Sciences. Okay, it's because this looked way too polished. I was like, why is this free?
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks really fun. I had
a glance at that publisher.
Yeah. Oh my word. But yeah, so Castle Roaches is of course their first game, but this looks so professional. This looks like a new Age of Empires.
Yeah.
It looks so good. Oh my word. The question is, how does it run when there's all those units on the screen? That is my question. But it is free to check out. The one thing is some of the UI looks very temp. Yeah, like the numbers are just in like standard Arial font, which is kind of a no-no. Do not use standard Arial font in your games. Don't use some sort of more creative font. But it looks really nice. I have to say, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks pretty polished, and it's standing at 96% positive with 144 user reviews. A lot of people are saying that it's very good beta, and they would love to see like a full game of this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's also not super long then, eh? It's oh well, there's some people with 79 hours on record, but looks like most people played it for just a few hours. That's very cool. Awesome. Yeah, that is Vedelem. Next up is, and of course, if you want to fill up your Steam inventory, I mean your Steam library, Breda University of Applied Sciences has plenty of other fantastic games to check out on Steam. Next up, Super Magbot.
Precise 2D platformer with a twist. No jumping. Master your magnetic powers to beat each level with speed and skill. Enjoy classic 16-bit gaming vibes. Tackle challenging achievements and compete for global leaderboard supremacy along the way.
All right, no jumping I feel like is a technicality. But I see what they're saying. It's all about
watching it. Yeah, it's very much. Yeah. I mean, unless you count those as jump pads instead of magnet pads.
Yeah, it's a clever design thing. I do wonder if it makes levels a bit more linear in that you know you can only jump at those pads, or you can only like do that movement at those pads, etc. But I have to say that the pixel art's fantastic, and this was developed by just two brothers in Catalonia. AstroPixel. This is like two brothers, and the pixel art here looks just gorgeous. This is the beautiful pixel art.
I would put this in the same vein exactly as Celeste. This is beautiful, man.
Yeah, this is at least on par with Celeste. So, really, really nice looking game. It just looks very fun.
And it's there's a free demo as well, so you try before you buy. But yeah, it's so beautifully polished. This of course been published by Team 17, who have a variety of great games that they've published as well, sort of smaller indie games. But yeah, this looks really good.
Yeah, this I've been trying not to add stuff to my wish list for a while. This one's going on my wish list.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is at 92% positive with 25 user reviews, and it's 20% off with at £11.59. I hope, Tom, you come back and tell us like how it plays.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, because I'm definitely going to try the demo out before I get a chance to pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
But this I'm excited to try this.
Yeah, $14.99. Yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, so that is Super Magbot. Next up is Host 714.
A drug user receives an offer that he cannot refuse that promises to change his life and rehabilitation center on an island far from society. Arriving on the island, he realizes that it may not be what he expected.
So this is one of these I was kind of debating whether this is a RPG Maker game or not, and it could be, but they've kind of successfully done the art in a way where I'm not sure. But yeah, it's sort of a horror stealth based game with some storyline. Yeah.
Yeah, there's it definitely looks like RPG Maker. But yeah, if it's like you've got enough like assets in there that an artwork style that gives it its own personality, and of course, very good unique storyline, then yeah, that's really good.
Mm-hmm. This stand out. Studio Tangakaze is based out of São Paulo, Brazil, and let me see. I gotta say I like some of the visuals. But yeah, this is there's some definitely this is not despite pixel art, this is not a game for kids. So they've got a warning. No. This game contains nudity, gore, sexual harassment, and use of tobacco. So
yeah, even looking at the thumbnail alone, it's like, yeah, this is definitely a horror watch your age limit genre.
Yep. But yeah,
and it's 20% off right now at £1.67. So yeah, it's very
reasonable.
Yeah.
$2.39 USD, and it only has one positive review. But it is in Portuguese. Yeah, only one review. It is in Portuguese.
Only one positive review.
Yeah, it's in Portuguese. So, all right. Next up is Suspicious Downpour.
Suspicious Downpour is a very short single-player comedy horror experience about getting stuck in a storm while out camping. Sit in your tent with your trusty flashlight in the calm rain and just relax. Just be warned, if you look for trouble, you might find it.
I kind of like this. It's like this short game, and you're there with your torch, and you're looking out, and you're trying to find something that's out there, or you're trying to keep an eye out or something. So yeah, I find that very interesting. And this was like made in like a game jam. So yeah, the game was created as an entry for the 2021 Terra game jam. The theme was light and dark.
Clever.
Interesting. Aotearoa game jam. So this was a New Zealand game jam then. Okay. Yeah, and so it's is Hamish Oliver, who did the music sound design, Benjamin Gulliver, who did the UI and UX, and Jared Baker did graphics design and programming. Wow.
Looks like it's about 20 to 30 minutes of play, and it's free to play, so which is nice. It's standing at 94% positive, 39 user reviews. What do you make of the game, Tom? What's your thoughts?
I'm intrigued. I'm just hoping it's not just like one jump scare at the end, or something of that nature. Of like, I'm just sitting here, I'm seeing these eyeballs pop up. I'm just waiting for the big. But I don't know. I like how it looks. And especially the fact that this was done quickly in a game jam. It looks. I'd love to see this. I hate using the term fleshed out, but I'd like to see them come back to this idea and make a full version of this, and not just kind of a quick game jam style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also called funny, and I wonder what the joke is. But I guess you gotta spend 20 minutes to find out what the joke is.
You're in the rain.
So
Suspicious downpour. Something is just standing above your tent peeing.
Yeah, and it sounds like, yeah, be warned, if you look for trouble, you might find it. I'm kind of wondering, it's like, okay, so he's in his tent, and there's like spooky animals out in the dark, and it's like, well, just stay in the tent. Don't be dumb. Don't walk out into the forest in the middle of the night. Don't be dumb. Yeah. Just stay in the tent.
I mean, granted, in this, it says the keyboard is used for puzzle mechanics, which has me kind of intrigued. But there's no walking around. You're isolated in place.
Oh, okay. So you're just in the tent. Interesting.
No.
How interesting. All right. Well, that is Suspicious Downpour. Free to check out. I might actually just check it out since it's like 20 minutes. So, next up, Alex the Kid in Miracle World DX.
Legend returns in stunning new detail with Alex Kidd in Miracle World DX. Fire up your power bracelet and relive a platforming classic alongside new models, levels, and features.
Oh, I played this. This was like the free game on the Sega Master System.
It does kind of bother me when they take a pixel art game and they make it full on nostalgia mode. Okay, so they do have a nostalgia mode, but the nostalgia mode pixel art does not look good.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, you go, no, but pixel art. It's like, no, it really wasn't that good. So the cartoon artwork is like so great. I really like it. I really like the way it looks.
It definitely looks a lot better.
Yeah.
God, the enhanced version looks like fake mobile game ads where it's like, this is what our game looks like, and it never looks like that.
Yeah.
Where this is like, this is what it looks like. Like, oh, finally. It's finally true.
Yeah, it's so. I remember this being incredibly tough to play, and it's kind of difficult to like. If you lose all 3 lives, that's it basically. You can't really. That's it. There's no way to get back to the point where you got to, sort of thing, and you have to play through the whole game again.
It's old school platformer.
Yeah, basically, it's rough. It is rough.
It seems to be about 2 to 4 hours long, and it costs $17.99 USD with 10% off.
And it's standing at 86% positive with 146 user reviews. It's 10% off at £13.49. I'm like, would I pick this up? Would I want to like torture myself, like trying to play this again? Because I never completed the original because it's too bloody tough. So
sometimes those nostalgia blasts from the past can be kind of fun to go back and revisit, though.
Yeah. So yeah. I'm curious. I did like the rock paper scissors game that they have in it. You come against a boss and you have to do rock paper scissors. It's like it's just like, oh my god, that will forever be in my brain. Oh my god, it's so fun.
That's brilliant.
The funny thing is, the more I look at the art style, the more I kind of like it. I really didn't like it at first, but I'm like, you know what? The more I look at this, the more nice it looks.
Especially compared to the original back in the day stuff.
Yeah.
But the cost, I'm thinking, yeah, that's a bit high for me right now. It is made by Merge Games, who are based out of lovely Manchester, England. Next up, Wednesday, June 23rd, we have a game, Out of Line.
A unique adventure game filled with beautiful puzzles, all hand-drawn in an original 2D style. Out of Line follows the adventures of San in a quest to escape the factory that was once home. Dive into a story set in a mysterious world that is revealed through multiple chapters.
Multiple chapters?
So...
Are those multiple chapters in this game?
Yeah, that's...
I don't like it when people say something like that. I'm like, what does that mean? But it looks very nice. I love the art style. I'm hoping what they mean is that there's just kind of like multiple chapters in the game where like there's a time skip or something. But because this doesn't say part 1 or anything.
Yeah, and what I'm going through in the comments, I'm not seeing anything that's showing that it cuts off of like this is just this is chapter 1.
All right, note to the devs: don't put something in that description that makes us go like chapters. What? Yeah, that's a dangerous word now on Steam. When someone says that, it's like, wait a second, is this an incomplete game?
If you like puzzle games with platforming, then this game is a must-buy. Graphics look good, soundtrack is great, and the puzzles are not too easy, neither too hard. There is no narrative, so it's up to the player to understand the story.
This is developed by Nerd Monkeys, which is a small team out of Lisbon, Portugal. Yeah, art style looks great. It doesn't seem to be particularly hardcore platforming or anything. It's just very, very, very pretty.
Yeah, even the puzzles are, what I'm running into the comments, are too easy. But I love how this looks.
Yeah. It's interesting. It looks very interesting. I like that kind of... It's almost like watercolors. It's so nice.
Yep. And you can get it for 10% off right now at $11.69 USD.
At £9.26, and it's standing at 94% positive with 17 user reviews.
Right. Next up, from Thursday, June 24th, we have Melodramatica.
Charming management game set in an old Victorian theater. You are put in charge of a troupe of actors. It's your job to make sure your actors in the stage are ready to put on a perfect show. Train your actors, resolve their conflicts, dress up your troupe, and set the stage for the final play. And this is back from the Breda University of Applied Sciences.
Again, like this is another Breda game that looks super professional.
Yeah.
Also, what's that pillow that I found it funny? So it's Victorian style. What is that pillow that they would put under their skirt in the back? What was that called?
I don't know, a bum pillow.
No. There's a specific term for it, and I thought it was just really funny that I guess they're taking it from that specific period of time when that was very popular.
It's a bustle. It's a bustle.
Yeah. Yep, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm just like, it's so funny.
A boosted derriere?
yeah, basically.
Oh, that's a stretch of a joke.
Yeah. It's a new. It's not a new trend. It's a very old thing actually. But I love the art style. It looks kind of like it was like etched with a pencil kind of look.
Yeah.
It reminds me of. Actually, I know exactly what they're going for. Like there used to be these. I don't remember the proper term for them, but there used to be like these nickel books. So for a nickel, you could buy a novel, and it'd be like illustrated on the front, and that's the style. Like for a nickel back in the Victorian era, that's the style they went for, and they really captured it well. So this is clearly folks that are really in love with this particular period, and that's quite neat to me. So.
Yeah, I really like the way this looks, and it reminds me of that like detective visual novel that I played. It was a bit like what's that objection? Oh, it's Avery Attorney. It looks a bit like that,
Avery
but this
Attorney,
one's in color. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, that's something else they paid really close attention to. The colors. They really did the kind of washed out colors that would end up on these kind of old pamphlets. They were never very vibrant. They might have been vibrant at the time of printing, but perhaps we have a bias because it's just, if any of these things would be really old now, so the colors will have faded. So it's quite cool. I like tons of aesthetic. It's free. Sort of management game where you have to like be the manager of a bunch of actors. That seems quite fun and a lot of potential for some wacky story going on.
Yeah.
I like this that you can craft staging and costumes. So nice. Sorry, Tom, you were saying.
No. You just hit exactly what I was gonna say. So.
Yeah. So
it's 95% positive with 21 user reviews. So yeah. This might be going on my wish list.
Yep. And yeah, for the very easy price of free. Okay, next up we have春と修羅.
Explore a mysterious world as the protagonist in this short adventure game with pixel graphics.
But, well, very short and sweet in the description there.春と修羅is a low fantasy fable-like tale following its protagonist, Chihiro, an ordinary high school student, that sounds like every anime, who stumbles into a mysterious new world. Again, that sounds like a lot of anime. The story develops as you wander around a small mystical village, gather hints by talking to those you encounter, and use items you acquire along the way. The ending of the story changes depending on your choices and actions. At first, Chihiro is carefree, assuming that this is merely a dream he will eventually wake up from. However, he is soon unwittingly entangled in the sinister events and suspicious schemes of the village and its inhabitants. Ooh.
I'm running into the warning on the mature content description. Violence, blood, suicide, depictions of murder, as well as the death of a dog, ... thing.
A dog thing.
So there could be a couple of big trigger warnings for folks.
Yeah, a dog thing.
I can't pick this up. Not if there's a death of a doggo. No.
Well, it says dog ... thing.
Yeah, so it's probably a dog spirit.
Be a creature.
Yeah, it's a dog spirit of some sort, probably. It's aesthetically, I'm quite interested in it. I'm wondering what the story is like. At the very least, I'm curious. but it's I'm trying to think of the term for there's an entire genre of anime where you get thrown into another world. Try and remember that term is isekai. I think it's isekai. No, isekai. Isekai, that's what it is. So it's an isekai where you fall asleep or whatever, die, and you get thrown into another world. So yeah, that seems to be the春と修羅. It's got I find it interesting how they've got really detailed art, and then in the game it's very minimalistic. I think it still works, but it is kind of an odd contrast. But yeah.
There's some of it is just kind of off-putting to me. I mean, they've kind of lost me on the story as is, and for me this is gonna kind of be one of the ones of the week that I'm gonna forget about real quick, I'm afraid. Because like even looking at some of the interior design of like I got one where they're talking to what looks to be like a ghost in a sheet, and you can see two Christmas trees, exact same spot, decorated the exact same way, doors.
Some real copy pasting going on.
Yeah. It's small stuff like that kind of drives me a little bonkers.
Oh, the same thing here with the schools. It's the 2 floors are exactly the same.
Yeah, and I understand. Why you do it, make life a little bit easier, work smarter, not harder, but it just
Yeah.
This is developed by Miyako Publishing, or Miyaka Shupan, which is a studio out of Kyoto, Japan, and it has and it is $4.49 with 10% off USD.
Yeah, starting at 93% positive with 15 user reviews, and 10% off right now at £3.59. Yeah, there is a demo, I suppose, if you want to check that out to see if this is a game for you.
When they say it's so short, I'm so surprised there's a demo, because it's like I wonder how much more is going to be left after the demo.
Yeah, exactly, because it seems to only be about 3.5 hours or something. So
well, 3.5 hours. That's a good enough chunk. You can like do like a small scene or something like that. So
that wouldn't be so bad. Yep. No,
yeah.
I guess I was kind of confusing one of the other games before, because we've had a few that have been like a half hour long today. So I was thinking is this also a half hour long with a demo?
3.5. Yeah, nope. There's 3.5 hours, but
3.5. So that's not so bad.
Yeah. Next up, we have Gladium.
Unforgiving boss fights, gory pixels, glorious fast-paced, gladiatorial action combat. Analyze your opponent's weaknesses, adapt your strategy, and color the sands with the blood of your enemies. They told me to do it. I'm on my way.
I feel like people have been like talking about this one for a while. Actually, I've seen animated GIFs of this on Twitter. On Twitter. So looks like it's finally out. Unforgiven. Yeah, it's got a nice action style. You do end up killing ravenous dogs in this one too. Well, I don't. Yeah, you do end up killing dogs in this one, which was not uncommon in gladiatorial arenas. But yep. So that for those who don't want that is something to think about. But yeah, so it is gladiatorial fights. It looks just classic ARPG, mouse to aim, I think, and yeah, it looks like it's kind of be action packed.
Very, very fast paced combat.
Yep.
Yeah, it's in that pixel style that I don't really like so much.
Mm-hmm. Oh, with the spindly little arms and the yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That I don't know if there's a name for that art style. I feel like we should just like make up names for all of these art styles. Just make a name.
I will call this the Dewey.
The Dewey.
Because they look like decimals. It's kind of a system that they keep using, so it will be called.
Okay, that's a little bit too like cerebral. But anyhow, it does have a consistent style.
Dewey decimal system.
And yeah, it's got an endless mode as well, so check it out. It is 96% positive, and it is 50% off right now for $4.99 USD.
and £3.59. £7.19 at full price.
Or the Alan Parsons Project. Yes, I will call it that from now on.
Next up, we have our final game from Friday, June 25th, and that is Gallantry.
Relive the medieval tournament as you compete across Europe in order to be crowned the grand champion and fulfill your father's legacy. I like how inside the title it has nothing to do about jousting.
Yeah.
Like, in that description, you should say you're fighting across jousting.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep.
Jousting across Europe.
Jousting across Europe. Oh, yeah, you do go to 4 different kingdoms. Oh, that's neat. The art style is really, like, this is kind of like Flash game art. Very minimalist. And, yes, the UI is not very creative either.
The map is done very nicely.
Yeah, the map is beautiful.
But like everything else is like a bit not so great. Like like you say, the UI and the bit showing right now, it's just like it's not that great.
I just saw a joust point in one of the little videos I was watching, because it's like I liked the background and the characters, but the actual like joust itself, and one of the riders actually got knocked off, and it just looked awful.
Yeah.
It's lazy awful.
Yep.
It's a good concept though. It is a good concept, and I think someone might have fun with this. I think it was it was in the demo festival as well. So it's a shame they haven't kept the demo up so you could like try that.
Because if the gameplay is like trying to aim and do all that is fun, you can kind of let a few things go. But
yeah, looks on everything. It does look like it would probably be fun. It does remind me of the Flash games, and those Flash games really did kind of show what minimal viable product was, and that as here, this is a cool game mode, and it very well might be that. And there seems to be also this whole like progression system where you have your armor, and then you upgrade your armor, you upgrade your lance, you upgrade your shield, you get a better horse, all sorts of stuff. But yeah, it is $7.99 USD. And there's only one review that played the game for 2.6 hours. And let me see. It's entirely in French. And I'm not getting. Yeah, I'm not getting the full thing. I think they said in order to do a 100% completion, it's like 5 to 6 hours. But yeah, it looks pretty good.
It's $5.99 in the UK.
Priory. All right, and it is by Priory Games, which is a small studio from England. And that is our week of releases. Alrighty, so the question comes, of course, what was your best of the week? And I need to put that up. There we go. What's your best of the week?
Very best
of the week.
All right, so Tom, do you have?
I do, and I'll do the thing of I'll pick one from the catch up, one from the main list. In the catch up, it's gonna go to Spinch. It just mine's the fact that it looked like I feel like I'm gonna lose the character a lot in that game. I like the Adventure Time style artwork. It just really over the top and out there that way. Psychedelic trip, as I think even how they self-describe, and I just like the way it looked. So Spinch would be my best of the week from the catch up. But in the main release list, I have to bring back a term, Dewey, and I'm so sorry, but it's gonna have to get my tight and juicy game of the week to the Super Magbot. I really want to try that game. The quote unquote no jumping, but you're going around by using magnets to like pull yourself or push yourself off. I really like how that game looks. I normally don't compare stuff to Celeste because Celeste is one of my top games of all time. But Super Magbot, if it plays well and it's smooth, could be up there in that tier for me, especially with how it looks. If it plays anywhere near as good as it does, I may be a potential early game of the year contender for me.
Possibly.
I know, but I have to try it first. I'm putting it on a pedestal real early. So
you heard it here first, guys.
Right.
Could be game of the year.
I know. So we'll see if that holds true. So my tight and juicy game of the week is going to be Super Magbot.
All right, Rhodey, what about you? What's your top games of the week?
Right, so I'm going to pick 2 from the catch-up list. So I'm definitely going to pick up Cartomante at some point. It just looks very interesting. I like the fact there are different endings, even though you've only got 3 characters that you're doing a reading for. So yeah, it just looks so pretty, and I like those sort of games where you're kind of like helping people out, and yeah, it ticks a little box for me, definitely. And the characters are so weird and colourful. Another game that I'm probably going to pick up at some point is Paradise Killer. That was one of my games of the year last year. That I had an interest for, but I hadn't picked up. So yeah, I will pick up at some point. This week's releases, there's been some interesting games, but there's been nothing that was really like a real standout for me. I think Labyrinth City, that was probably the top one. I played the demo, loved it, want to pick up for sure.
There it is.
Definitely, but I'm gonna wait until it goes down in price when it's on a big enough sale. And I think another one on the main list would be Melodramatica. It just looks so lovely, and I love the artwork. I love the idea that you kind of like trying to herd these actors.
Yeah.
You're also crafting, the stage design and the costumes as well. So yeah, I just love this idea, and I'm curious at how it plays and if there's any. I'm hoping there are no issues with it, but you never know. Yeah. I'd love to come back and say.
And it's got a really low entry point in that. It's free. That's
yeah,
awesome.
Completely.
It's not often a free game ends up winning Game of the Week. So, all right.
What about you, Dewey?
Me, I think from this week, there's no competition. It is Ender Lilies for me. I'm most interested in Ender Lilies. It just seems like the 2D action I'm kind of looking for. So it's on my wish list. It just has this really nice style to it. It's not quite as dark and grim as Dark Souls either. Like there's a lot more color and stuff going on here. So I am kind of interested in that. So I'm gonna play Ender Lilies eventually. From the catch-up list, though, that's actually a bit harder. I think probably Paradise Killer is what interested me the most from that. So, yeah. So Paradise Killer and Ender Lilies are my best of the week. And, of course, chat, let us know what your favorites of the week were, of course. And if we missed anything, also let us know if we missed any great games that came out this week. And with that, Rhodey and Tom, let us know where the internet can find you. And I guess Tom, go first. Yes.
You can find me over at YouTube and Twitch at TheRadioTom, as well as TikTok, Twitter. We've been a little behind on content, ladies. Content lady. What am I? Lately, there we go. I can use my words. Due to a couple of unforeseen illnesses, we're a little behind. But hopefully we're gonna get back on track with some board game content, video game content, more stand-up comedy, and the stuff of that on those channels. And I'll always forever be here in Dewey's basement.
Yep.
Where he never lets me.
And be sure to drop a link to your YouTube in chat so folks can see it. All right. And of course, Rhodey, what about you?
Of course, you can find me on here every week, and occasionally I do the odd Twitch here and there. So that's twitch.tv/RhodeyPie. And of course, you can find us on the curator page, which Dewey or...
Oh, yeah, I got it.
Oh, there is it. Yeah, you got it. Nice. So yeah, you can click the link, and don't forget to follow, because we do write all the games that we talk about, and it will pop up on your Steam front page if there are any games that match any of the ones that you're interested in.
And remember to subscribe to the RadioTom as well.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to that, and don't forget to put a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as well if you haven't already.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And we'll see you all... Wait, is next week 4th of July? Yeah, next week's 4th of July, so we will not see you next week, actually, because I know my life's going to be way too busy that weekend. Unfortunately, July 4th lands on Sunday, so I know I'm going to be at a barbecue, so...
What? A barbecue on the 4th of July?
I know. So like weird. What a strange thing. Yep. But yeah, as far as other than that, we will be back in 2 weeks with another guest and, of course, some fun games to talk about. So with that, farewell, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.